Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, my loves, my angels. I want to do a reading right quick. I want to tap in. We did a reading earlier discussing how the person on the collective's mind, we've been tapping in their energy and how they're feeling regretful, how they thought they made a decision, how they want to communicate with my collective. So now I want to know how my collective is feeling, okay? How my collective is feeling towards the person on their mind, how they're feeling about maybe walking towards new love, you know. So let's just tap into my collective right now and see how they're feeling. Do they want to go back to the past? Do they want new love? Have they healed? Are they even considering it? Or do they just want to be single, just casually date or just spend time to themselves? Just be celibate. Just focus on themselves for a while. Just doing them and just be alone, okay? So if I could just tap into the energy, and I just want to know, collective, how are you feeling right now? What is the energy, spirit guides, of the collective? If I can call in the spirit guides, can you tell me how are my collective? What are the feelings of the collective? What is the energy of the collective right now, and how they're feeling? Like, what do they want? Do they want love? Do they want to be left alone? Do they want to just focus on themselves? Do they want reconciliation? What is the majority of the energy for my collective and how they are feeling? Tell me, spirit guides. They're keeping their heart to themselves, definitely, right now. They do want the door to romance, but they're holding their heart back. They're keeping their heart to themselves right now with the 33. So right now, what it looks like is that the collective, they want a new relationship for sure. They want a new relationship, but the door to their heart is that they want a new experience, but they're holding back the key, okay? They want something that's going to be brought together with a strong connection. If they are willing to let a past connection come in, it needs to come in with a lot of tenderness, all right? And it needs to come in with a lot of heartfelt connection to it. All right, they do have the potential of a past relationship coming in, all right, but it needs to project a lot of kind, self-loving energy to it, and it needs to be a lot of honesty to it, and it needs to be a lot of self-care. But right now it looks like the collective is putting in a lot of self-care to themselves, and they're holding their heart back, and they're keeping the key to themselves. But it looks like there's, with all this hearts blowing in, it looks like a lot of people they have a lot of offers available to them, but they're holding their heart within, and they're holding the key, and they're not giving their heart to any specific person. But there are a lot of offers. They have a lot of offers available. So a lot of people are finding the collective to be very, very attractive, and they have options available to them. A lot of people are wanting to date them. A lot of people are interested in them. A lot of people are finding them to be gorgeous, alluring, seductive, witty, beautiful, inside and out. So they do have their pick of the litter, obviously. So the collective, you're doing great. People are really finding you to be attractive. They're finding you to be nurturing. You are very creative right now. You are very abundant right now. And you're very fertile right now. And whatever it is, if you're wanting to pursue business, relationships, whatever it is, you're very fertile right now. So you can have the pick of the litter for sure. But you're just holding back right now. You're keeping the key to yourself. All right. So what else? Tell me what else with the collective. What are they wanting? Like, what do they feel about the past? You're thinking about it. You're thinking about, is that something you want to go to? Is it something you want to revisit again? You want to make wise decisions when it comes to that, and you want to use clarity. Definitely, you want to use discernment if you decide to think about the past. You want somebody who's spiritual, somebody who's wise, somebody who's intuitive. You have elevated. You You want somebody who's religious, okay? You want somebody who's higher learning. You feel like you've completed a cycle with that. You feel like you've learned a lot of lessons from that, all right? You feel like that person has taught you a lot of lessons. And with this being a 46 going to a 10, yeah, you feel like it's over. You feel like there were a lot of lessons to learn. You've learned them. They've taught you self-love. They've taught you boundaries. They've taught you to recognize the red flags. They've taught you to use discernment now with moving forward. They've taught you to trust your intuition. They've taught you a lot. Going through that taught you a lot. They've taught you to not wear your heart on your sleeve and not to just give your heart out frivolously, to not be so trusting. You're not willing. You're turning your back to past love. You're turning your back to it. You're wanting a new love. You're wanting new love. You want to take a chance on new love right now. So you're not open to revisiting the past love at this moment. You're not. You're crystal clear on that. Yeah. For the majority of the collective, they're not wanting to revisit past love. They're wanting new love. Yeah, you're following, like you're going to a spiritual, you've completed. This is spiritual completion. This is a 7. This is spiritual completion. You've overcome your obstacles. You're determined to move forward. At this point, you're standing your ground, all right? You're looking at long-term growth. You're being defensive right now. You're working with resilience. Like you're celebrating with your soul tribe, and you want somebody within your soul tribe. You feel like you've elevated. You're going to higher ground. And you want somebody within your spiritual community at this point. You're following your angels. You're letting them guide you. You're listening to your intuition. You want somebody that's on your level, somebody within your soul tribe. You're looking for marriage. You're looking for marriage. You're looking for a commitment. You're looking for something that's going to go long term. You're not looking for, superficial relationships. You're looking for something that's going to be nurturing. You're looking for a give and take. Yeah, you've had your heart broken, and you don't want to experience that again. You don't want to experience that. You're done with that. You're done with that. You're done with past love. You're putting an end to past love. See, you're listening to your intuition. You're listening to your intuition now. You're letting your spirit guides guide you. You're letting your spirit guides lead you to the path away from heartbreak. See, you're moving away from heartbreak. You're moving away from. You're going to new love, and you're letting them guide you to new love. You're wanting them to guide you towards a love that's for you, a divinely guided love, a new love. So you're moving away from the heartbreak. To you, the past is heartbreak. The past love equals heartbreak to you, and you don't want that. You're running from it. You're running it. You're running toward new grounds, new horizon. You're taking action to go forward in life toward new romance, and you're letting your spirit guides guide you towards new love, someone that's going to be equal give and take, okay? Someone that's divine, you letting them send you to divinely guided love, someone that the universe has picked for you. Yeah, you want your star, you want your balance. You're going to go to somebody who balances you out. Someone who's not afraid. You're running. Yeah, you're running from the past. You felt like the person that you were with, you thought that was your twin flame. You thought that was your equal. And in some sense, he was supposed to be a partner with you, but he did not take action. He or she did not take action. They saw you as a star, but they allow fear to hold them back. They allow their past to hold them back, whether it was their outdated thinking, whether it was tradition, whether it was family or friends who whispered something in their ear that held them back, whether it was overthinking, whether it was addictions, or traditions or family obligations or whatever it was that held them back. They just didn't follow you. They just didn't come your way. Whether they were in another relationship that they didn't tell you about, they just didn't follow you, okay? So you've decided to move on. You decided to just move on without that. Like you're done with that. You're leaving the heartache in the past. So what is the final outcome? What's the final outcome for this, for my collective? Because they're obviously not going back to the past. Yeah. You're going towards a new love. You're taking a blind leap of faith. You want to take a blind contract. You want to go to some type of legal relationship. Either you want to get a new home. You want to go into a marriage. You want some type of legal binding contract with someone, a spiritually legal binding contract. You either want engagement, you either want marriage, you either want to buy a home, you want to go into a lease agreement. You want something that's going to lead to some type of legal contract binding relationship. All right, you're not looking for something superficial anymore. You want matrimony, and you want somebody that's spiritually connected with you. Okay. You're tired of dealing with people who are insecure. You don't want that anymore. You don't want anyone who's weak, who's insecure, someone who likes control. You don't want that. That was what you had. You've learned your lessons from that. You want somebody who's abundant, someone who's nurturing, someone who's fertile, somebody who knows their worth, somebody who's creative, someone who's ready to be a family. You put an end to a cycle. You've graduated. You completed a cycle. You completed a cycle with this past person, and you're ready to move forward. You're ready to start out. You put an end to a cycle with an earth sign. And you're moving on. You're progressing forward. You're ready for a new beginning. You're moving forward to a new beginning. You're ready to expand, start a new. You're moving to calmer waters. All right, and this is your fate. You completed that cycle. It's your fate. It's ended. It's ended. You went in solitude. You thought about it. You followed your wisdom. You did your introspecting. And you're letting the spirits guide you, because that person had too many options. They played too many games. They put too many things ahead of you. Too many people. Too many, whether it was jobs, whether it was addictions, whether it was dating, whether it was friends, whether it was family. They were greedy. They were selfish. They only cared about themselves. They wanted to fulfill their own cups with material comfort, with money, with lust, with different things. They wanted to celebrate what other people, fulfill their own emotional needs. And now they're in their head, their anxiety, because they lost you, because they were doing other things. So now they're worried. They regret not holding on to you, and now they do want to come and offer you that cup, but you're not interested. Like, you're moving on. You want something else. You want new love, but collective, that's how the cookie crumbles. So how do you feel about them? How do you feel about the past at this point? How do you feel about the past person? What do you think? How do you feel about the past person wanting to return to you? Whoop, 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 whoop. You feel like you want to, you feel okay about opening your heart to confess that you're ready to move forward. The past person wants to tell you that they feel like they're under a love spell with you, that they want to have an intimate moment with you. They want to have a new beginning with you. They feel like they want to take a trip with you. Collective, what do you want? What do you want? You want to follow your intuition. You want to follow the intuition. You said this says the red flags you ignore now become better. You want to communicate that you're willing to compromise. Getting a new pet. Well, getting a new pet, giving a current pet more love. This says giving a new pet and giving a current pet more love. Some of you might have a pet. Pets do mean something. Pets are spirit animals. So if you do have a new pet, or if a new pet come into your life, those are spirit animals. So when they do come in, giving them new love and them coming in is a way of your spirit guide is communicating with you. So if you do have a new pet that come into your life, that is a good sign, a good omen. Okay. What are some of the lessons that this relationship taught you going through because we do have that you've learned a lot from the relationship. What does relationship teach you? It taught you inner harmony, how to go in and work on yourself, how to master different aspects of yourself. Oh, okay, sorry. Taught you self-reflection, to look inward, to improve and make better choices for yourself. It taught you how to strengthen, how strength isn't from winning, but from struggles that divine struggles you go through helps you define your strength. So how to get control, how to repress, how to make peace. All right. It taught you to explore your feelings, to delve into your insecurities and resolve your unresolved emotions. It taught you about having hope, okay, having grace, kindness. It taught you self-care. All right. It taught you how to hold things together, how to fix problems in your life. All right. You've learned how to cut things away that aren't healthy for you. Meaning this relationship, you realize that you were in an unhealthy relationship, so you released it. All right. So you felt like this relationship was not a safe place for you. All right. So you went within. All right, to recover, to do some self-reflection. At one point, you felt like this relationship was home, but then it started to feel like it wasn't safe. This person does want to communicate to you, maybe send a message to you with the wires going to the house. Some of you might be looking for a new place to move. This person might want to come in and communicate that they want to move in with you. They might want you to move in with them. The numbers 83 might mean something to you guys. Might be a life path 8, might be a life path 3. Somebody might have birthday on August 3rd. Somebody might have birthday March 8th, okay? Somebody might have a yellow home, a brick home. Somebody might have a porch. Somebody might have a lot of flowers, be into flowers, like gardening. Somebody might live in an area, a brick home, or an area that has a lot of trees. Somebody might, the home has a lot of bars, so somebody might feel trapped into their home. The home could be the body. Your home does represent your body, okay, and how you feel. And the fact that there are a lot of bars around this home, somebody might feel mentally trapped in their home. Like, so they have a lot going on in their mind. They might feel stuck in a relationship. They may feel like they have a lot going on in their mind, and they're trapped, like they're overthinking something. They might have mental block. They don't know how to get out of a situation. They may feel trapped in a relationship or mentally blocked, or they could feel blocked from you, like they can't get to you, but they're on this concrete block. All right. Somebody feel like they need to cleanse. They might need to cleanse their home, cleanse their environment. They might just need to go in and heal themselves. Somebody needs to do some soul searching. All right. Somebody might be doing a lot of crying. Somebody needs to look at the bright side, the silver lining in what's going on. Somebody needs to take a look at their friends. Look at the trust factor between their friends. See who they're hanging out with. Really evaluate if they can trust their friends. Someone that they think is a pal might not be a pal. That friend might be jealous of them. They might need to watch their back around their friend. That friend might not be trustworthy. Somebody might want what they want. One of their friends might actually want what they want. Might be giving them bad advice. They may really need to look over their shoulder at their friend. Somebody has a friend around them that they really need to pay attention to. Someone's trying to find the strength to really roll with the punches, to deal with a family situation. Someone's dealing with somebody that's pretty aggressive. They might be they might have some aggression going on in their family unit, in their home. Somebody's causing conflict in the home. They feel like they can't move around like they need to. Maybe somebody's watching them. I really feel like somebody is watching them out of jealousy. Like they might be involved in a relationship and this person is really watching them, watching their every move, checking their phone, watching them, checking their house, going by their house, thinking they're out doing something. Somebody might say they're out with their friend, but they don't think they're out with their friend. Then be driving by. Somebody's going out at night, maybe coming by your house watching you. Somebody needs to watch their spending. They're overspending. They need to spend with moderation. Somebody needs to make healthy choices. Somebody failed to see your value. Somebody was trying to start a business and they're waiting for that business to pick up, but they're not seeing the benefits of that business at this point. And so they need to watch their spending. They're putting more and more money into a business, but it's not becoming profitable. I feel like they went into a business with a friend or with a feminine, waiting for it to be prosperous, and it's not. And I feel like it's creating some type of conflict within this dynamic, within this relationship. I feel like somebody's watching you benefit or you be prosperous in some type of way, and they're jealous, they're envious. Someone sees you're getting attention and they don't like it. You have an excellent opportunity coming your way that you need to look out for. Something positive, something exciting. Someone also needs to watch out for eating sweets. They need to watch their sugar intake. I also feel like someone's looking back and reminiscing at the times that they had with you. They're thinking back. They're feeling sad. Somebody who was stubborn. Somebody who felt like they missed the opportunity with you because they let their stubbornness get in the way. Someone who's doing a lot of reminiscing. Somebody who tried to cover something up, try to hide something from you. Someone who was being sneaky, okay? Someone that you tried to talk to, that you asked them questions, and instead of them being honest with you, upfront with you, they were vague in their answers with you because they were trying to cover something up that they didn't want you to know. So they danced around the question, was very vague, didn't answer you directly, scapegoated. Somebody's depressed, okay, but they're trying to cover up being depressed. They're trying to look like everything is a-okay with them, but they're not. Somebody possibly crying at night when they have opportunities to be alone. Yeah, somebody might be overindulging in substance, alcohol, food, possibly drugs. Their needs aren't being met. They're in a relationship, then they're not getting their needs met. They did feel like when they were with you, you made them happy. You refilled their spirit. But this isn't about them, collective. This is about you. Like, how do you feel? We don't want to get stuck in how they're feeling. We want to remember that this reading is about you. Like, what do you want? What does the collective want? Spirit guys, what does this collective want? Some of you might be looking for an older gentleman with the Knight of Pentacles being here. You might want someone who's financially successful, someone who's focused, someone with traditional values, somebody who's hardworking. You might want somebody who's ethical, conservative, somebody who's down to earth, someone who keeps their word. When they say they're going to do something, they do something. Someone who's not afraid to go the distance. What else, collective? What else does the collective want? Yeah, you want to take a new opportunity towards love. You're looking at taking a new opportunity. Some of you are working on dieting and exercising. You're working on your health. You're working on your fitness, your physical improvement. So some of you may have actually done something to with your beauty. You may have gotten a new hairstyle. You may have lost weight, done some changes to your body. You may have gotten a haircut, dyed your hair, done something different to change your look. Some of you are working on your money and material possessions. Actually, you have some new money and material possessions coming in, working on some new projects. You're growing and prosperous. You're trusting your own instincts at this moment and your ideas, all right? And you're relying on your friends and family for support. Some of you may be moving. Some of you are looking to purchase a new home, a new business, some land possibly. Some of you may have purchased a new car. Some of you may have actually purchased a new exercise equipment. Some of you might be running away from decisions right now. Maybe some of you have actually heard from your past person, and they may have asked for reconciliation over the Mercury retrograde, but you're running away from making a decision. You might be ghosting the idea. You may be telling them that you need time to think, and right now you're just not ready to make a decision as to whether or not you want to get back with them. Like you're just taking time to yourself. You're entertaining other possibilities, or maybe you're just taking your time because you don't know what you want. Maybe you don't feel like you can trust them at this time, and you want to take your time to really think about, or you want to take your time to see if they've changed, if their actions match their words. You want to be selfish with yourself at this time, and rightfully so. What else, collective? What else? How's my collective feeling? You're feeling happy. You're feeling very happy. You have a lot of joy. You have a lot to be grateful for. You're happy because you've come out of this heartbreak. You've healed from it. You're done with it. Okay? You're tired of a current situation. You're tired of disappointment. You've taken action. You've left a current relationship or a job. If it wasn't a relationship, you left a job where you were dissatisfied in. You've traveled, you relocated, like I said, for a lot of you, to look for your happiness. Some of you could have left a city or a town, or you could have moved over near water. You could be doing something near water. You just put an end to a situation, a relationship. You close the situation to go towards a new beginning. A lot of you have a rebirth, a new change in your life. Someone could have actually had a death in their family. Someone could have passed on recently. If so, I give you my condolences. But a lot of you are just done a lot of personal growth. A death of, you shed your skin, death of an old you. You have a new mindset, a new look on life. You've done a lot of self-examination. You've just grown. You've changed. The old you no longer exists. You just have a new way of looking at things. Okay? You're more reserved now. You feel emotionally and physically tired from constant conflict and setbacks. You're using your inner strength. You're using perseverance now. What else, collective? You're using self-control. You want a loving relationship. Some of you may have had a child with the person in your past. And at this point, I feel like you just really want them to just be a father to your child. You don't want a loving relationship. You want them to step up and just be a father to your child. That's all you want. You just want to co-parent with them. You want them to show some willpower. You want them to be an authoritative figure. You want them to just do right by you and that child. You don't want the relationship. The relationship part is over. Yeah, you got tired. You want them to be able to do their part, share in the finances or the responsibility of that child. Because you're tired of doing it all on your own. You're tired of being both the woman and the man. You're tired of carrying all the weight on your own. You want emotional peace. You want to communicate. You feel like you're at a crossroad in your life right now where you have to take action to resolve different events that's going on. And you're moving quickly. You don't want to miss any opportunities. You're carefully planning your next move, but you want to make sure that you don't miss any opportunities, all right? So you want to make sure you take time to clarify your goals, set priorities set your priorities straight. Get situations to come to a resolution. All right. So be on the lookout for important news that's coming in. Be on a, be mindful of all information that comes to you right now. Use discernment when you're making your decisions. All right. You do have the high priestess out here, so make sure you pay attention to your intuition. You do have inner peace and strength. So, don't allow yourself to be too preoccupied. All right. Don't have a passive reaction to everything. Don't overreact. All right. Be calm and sure about your outcome. Question things that don't seem correct and pay attention to your feelings. All right. You might have a woman that enters your life. If so, pay attention. She might come in to really offer you a lot of great advice to help you on your journey, your healing journey. Uh-oh, what is this? Coming out. All right. Give me, what do I want? All right. So what is it? What are you tired of? What is it that you don't want? Tell me what you don't want. What is it a collective is not? What are the boundaries that they set? What is it they will not tolerate? What they will not tolerate in the next person moving forward, that they are sick and tired of. They will not let anyone put them in a mindset of being depressed. Been there, done that. They will not tolerate that again. No one putting them in a mindset of playing mental games with them, having them feeling depressed. All right. They will use, moving forward, they're going to use emotional intelligence. They're going to think smart. No one who's going to look at them for just sex only. They won't tolerate that. No one who's going to come to them that don't have their finances together. They don't want anyone that's not going to trust them. No one that they feel like they have to investigate. And they don't want anyone with any drug addictions, alcohol addictions, or any type of substance abuse addictions. They don't want anyone that's just trying to imitate them. That's just trying to study them to imitate them because they're envious and they don't know who they are. They can't be authentically themselves. Okay? That's what they don't want. They don't want anyone who can't come in and keep their word. They need somebody who, when they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. All right. They don't want anyone that's envious of them. They need someone that's going to come in, that's going to want to uplift them. All right. But not be envious of them. Someone that can appreciate their strength and their value and see that as their strength and not be envious. What else? What else is that the collective is not going to tolerate in their next relationship because they've learned? Moving forward, the collective is going to pay attention to the warning signs. They're going to proceed with caution. They're going to use discernment, okay? If someone has anger management issues, they're going to see that. They're going to be cautious of somebody who has anger management issues. They're not going to, they're going to see that as a red flag. They're not going to let people upset them. They're going to be mindful of people that's just looking for tantric sex, with sex addictions. Engaging in third-party situations that needs to have karmics, that are still dealing with third parties, that is dealing with haters, that have karmic relationships. They're going to be mindful of that. They're going to pay attention to those cautions, those warning signs. They're going to release those relationships. They're not going to have those unhealthy relationships. What else? They're not going to be delusional. They're not going to have the head in the clouds. They're going to know that they'll see a person for who they are and not with the potential. They're not going to be in denial. They're not going to accept the person's excuses. If they see a person running, they're going to watch that as a red flag. They're not going to take a gamble on people that are running from them. They only want a person that's going to come in with mutual respect. And the person who wants to offer intimacy. They're not going to get over their head and their emotions. They're not going to allow themselves to get stuck in a dead-end relationship. They're going to protect themselves. They know that their angels are going to protect them from harm. They're not going to allow themselves to feel trapped in a situation no more. They're only going to be relationships that offer peace, balance, and harmony. They're not going to just live in the moment. They're not going to be anyone's dirty little secret and enter into love affairs. They are ready for a new opportunity. They're wanting to start new successful businesses. They're looking to start new careers. They're ready for their glow up. They want new things. They don't want to revisit the past. They're ready to let the past go. They're ready to let it go, collective. And what's going on with the past person? Well, they're just going to have to repeat a cycle. They want it to be in the streets. They want it to chase thrills. That's what they're going to continue to have. They're going to just have to continue cycles with their bad decisions and their addictions. That's what they're going to be left with. Their family dramas, their conflicts, their blood ties, their inner circles, their comics. Collective, you're hopeful. You're optimistic because you're going to have success. You're going to have success because you're healed. You're healed. No more dead-end relationships for you. You're moving forward. You're moving forward to a new beginning. New beginnings for you. You're no longer confused about what you want. You're not conflicted. You know where you're headed. You know where you're heading. You're secure. You're heading towards wealth. Okay? You don't need an apology from someone who's arrogant, someone who's cheated, somebody who's two-faced. You don't need that. Their life is falling apart. Okay? You're following your dreams. Your mind is made up. You're following your dreams. You've made up your mind. You believe in yourself. You've done your self-reflection. All right? Somebody procrastinated and they ran out of time. They ran out of time. Now they're feeling resentful. All right? They're feeling resentful, but you're happy. You're happy. You're healed. You know, you're looking for your soulmate, your twin flame. You're out here smelling the roses, taking your time to yourself, getting out in nature. They're bitter. They're angry. They don't like that you're ghosting them. All right? They're stressed out. They're feeling the tension. They're suffering in silence. They're trying to hide it from the world, but everybody knows what's going on. They're gossiping about them. They might be going through a divorce, experiencing legal problems, trying to get advice about leaving an abusive relationship from a psychopath that they want to cut ties from. Okay, a real narcissist they've gotten themselves involved with. But you're sitting here practicing self-care, meditating, you know, while they're trying to wishfully wish for a second chance with you. But now they have to suffer consequences from the bad choices that they had. But they had someone who was nurturing. They had a nice mothering person with you. But they had to get away and have fun with the karmic, you know. So that's it. That's what they get. Now they're paranoid, feeling insecure, having upheavals in their relationships. But they burnt the bridge with you. And now they're depressed. They're lost. You blocked them because they were greedy. They were lustful. Caused you to set boundaries. You let go. Now they're longing for you, missing you, trying to talk to someone to get mentored, to get wisdom on how to get you back, okay, while they're dealing with toxic relationships, a bunch of arguments, a lot of drama. They're worried. They're in their emotions. Now they're in the feelings because you're getting them silent treatment because they failed you. They broke the relationship, so they feel rejected. They're exhausted, and now you're moving on with another man. And oh well, that's just how the story goes. All right. But what do you want to say, Clay? Because I really don't feel like you hate them. So you might have some loving words to them. But what do you want to say to them? You know, what do you want to say to them? You want to tell them, take the time to heal. Just take the time and heal. All right. You want them to know that. You want them to take some time and heal themselves. Because you know they're going through a lot. You know they have past trauma to heal from. They're not good for anyone until they heal. You do think of them sometime, all right? You want them to stop the pattern of behavior that they've been exhibiting so that they can get their lives together, all right? You also want them to know that you guys are mirroring each other. Like you mirror each other. You mirror back to them the inner wounds that they need to heal. You want them to know that they backstabbed you and they hurt you when they did that. And you want them to know that they were hiding their true feelings when they gaslit you. What does this person want you to know about them? What do they want you to know about them? They saw you as their twin flame. They did, but they ran because they fear intimacy. They do have affection for you. They would like to have a new beginning with you. They do see you as a life partner. They did see you as that. But they just couldn't leave that karmic relationship. They have resentment though. They have resentment because they went to a karmic relationship. They did. And they want to throw it away. They went towards something that they need to toss out, and now they're feeling insecure. All right. They expected a new beginning with that person, possibly somebody who got pregnant. All right, and they fucked up. They're sorry. They fucked up. They did, and they want to just run away. They just run away. They were trying to fulfill a fantasy. You know, they had a private relationship behind your back. They didn't tell you about it. They want to tell you about it now, but they know you already know, so it's old news. And they're just tired of all the drama that they're going through. But they want to set the record straight, let you know, but they know you don't want to hear it. They know you don't want to hear it. All right, they just made a bad choice. All right, they were just acting out of their lustful feelings. They tried to hide the evidence so you wouldn't find out. You found out anyway. All right, and they end up getting played. They played you. They end up getting played, but they don't hate anything about you. They wish they could have a love story with you. All right. They had fake friends around them, giving them bad advice. They got caught up in some legal trouble, possibly police getting situated. You know, everything's a lot of conflict. Everything's about to explode. They got attached to a bugaboo. Their life is hell. They might be going through a divorce or separation or some type of legal contract. They try to keep your secret from everybody so that you don't get caught up in all that drama they have going on. But somebody found out about you anyway, you know, and they get in arguments over you. But they know that caused some heartache for you. They know that you find out and you put it into a relationship, but they want to come back and fight for you, okay? Because they love you. And they know you know about what's going on. They know you know. They're sorry they betrayed you. They are. Somebody hates you. The third party hates you. They're hating on you. Their relationship is toxic. The third party's toxic. They're sorry they hooked up with that person. You know, they know that they want to give you an apology, but right now they don't mean it because they're kind of mad at you for walking away from them. They really are. Because you kicked them to the curb, and they're upset that you kicked them to the curb. But they understand you kicked them to the curb because they were out here being lustful, hooking up with everybody. Everybody around them is just watching everything go down because this person is just putting on a show out in the streets, embarrassing them, just acting out. And then mentally, they just need to check out. They want to check themselves. Mentally, they got a lot going on. This person is sleeping around with everybody, getting rooms. You can't trust them. You know, their life is just all fucked up. And that's it. They want to take a vacation. Just get away from everything. They're dealing with addictions, sexual addictions, financial struggles, alcohol addictions. You know, it's just not the right time to come towards you right now. They wish that they would have proceeded with caution. They wish they would have listened to their intuition. But they're a narcissist, and they got involved with another narcissist, and they want to move out. They just want to move. They just want to leave the city, get away from everything. But they're repeating the cycle in their life, and it's the cycle that they brought on themselves. They want a divorce. They want to leave this person. They might be looking to get a divorce during the Mercury retrograde. They may have decided to get a divorce. The person they're with is a liar. You don't trust them. You feel they're a liar. They want you to have patience with them while they work on getting out of this situation. Right now, the health is not doing well. They're stressed out. You know, you could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They could be. They're trying to manifest how to come back towards you. They're dealing with a lot of challenges in their life right now. But they're trying to just give it time, and hopefully you'll forgive them. They got involved with a gold digger that just want to use them for their money. They see that everything's working out well for you. All right, you moved on. And ever since you moved on, they see that, you know, you're happy. You might have gotten engaged. You might have gotten to another relationship, possibly with a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. All right, they see you with someone else and they don't like it. They've been spying on you. They're watching you, your social media, you know. They're still sexually attracted to you. They may be pleasuring themselves to you, all right? They may be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You know, you let go. and they hate that you let go. But when you let go, you transform. But they're going to send you a message because they want to come back. They want you to know they're going to come back. They could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They want to take you out on a date. They're talking to their angels, trying to figure out how they can come back to you. Because right now they just feel emotionally and physically distanced from you. Right? So, collective, that's my reading for you for today. Let me give you an affirmation. Let me see what you would like to say to them. What would you like to say to the person on your mind? What would you like to say to them, collective? What would you like to tell the person about how you're feeling? What would the collective like to say? I feel betrayed by you. I gave you love. You gave me your ass. What else, collective, would you like to say? I know my self-worth. You just didn't see it. I made peace with my past traumas and healed. What else? What else? As a divine, I won't argue. I won't fight. I'll just stop engaging. You never saw my worth when I was giving it to you. Now you sit with memories while I sit in peace. One more. One more. The collective would like to say. You were my future. Now you're my past. Okay. And let me get an affirmation for you, collective. People can't drive you crazy if you don't give them the keys. Okay. So we'll finish with that. That's my reading for you for today. You guys have a great day.